What is going on, guys? My name is Brandon Donlon.
Hi, my name is Wendell Holland.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wentworth, and you're watching Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Survivor Squared. My name is Tony Squares, and yes, I do look a little disheveled right now. That's because I forgot to record this intro when I did the interview the first time. So you're getting the next day editing Tony face, not like the ready to produce a podcast Tony face, but that's okay. We power on because this interview is still fantastic. I talk with Season 45's Brandon Donlon all about Season 50. We just had the premiere. We break that down. Who is set up to win after the premiere happens? We go through all of it. And we also go through Brandon's journey from Season 45 to now, how he dealt with what happened on that season, having an actual panic attack during a challenge, talking about anxiety. It's stuff that I suffer with too. It's my fear about playing on Survivors. What if those things happen to me while I'm on the island? We have a very open discussion about all that stuff and break it all down. And of course, we talk about how Brandon is now paid to talk about Survivor, a super fan's dream. He works with Rob, has a podcast, and that whole world is so interesting to me. So we go through all of it and mostly land on who's going to win this whole entire thing on Season 50. Speaking of, we're going to keep breaking down Season 50 later this week. Me and Bailey Buffs are going to break down Episode 2 the day after it airs. And of course, every Monday on this channel, we're going to have a new guest from the world of Survivor to help me recognize what's going on in the biggest season in Survivor history. So if this is your first time seeing this channel, seeing this page, thank you and welcome. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, help this channel grow because it is such a big season and we're just on a roller coaster ride with it. But for now, let's kick it over to my interview with Brandon Donlon. As fans, we all have one dream when we're watching Survivor, and that is to play Survivor. And whether you last forever or whether you're the first boot, if you get on that island, you achieve something that millions of us have just thought about and strived for. And so today, we're talking with someone that played on Season 45. Yeah, he may not have won. He may not have made it to the final three, but he had a blast and a memorable journey on there. And we're going to break down everything he did on that island, what happened to you since that island, and also how some of your castmates are playing right now in the biggest season in Survivor history. We're breaking it all down after the Season 50 premiere. Please welcome to the show for the first time ever. Come on in, Brandon Donlon. Welcome to the show, my guy.
I do this professionally. I've never gotten that good of an intro. I need to do more. I need to get my intro game up. I got to give that and try to get that more. Man, this is like I'm on Hot Ones. This is like I'm blown away and it just fucking started. But I'm thrilled to be here.
And no chicken wings. We're not going to torture you with any hot sauce. I could never do hot ones, Brandon. Are you a hot sauce guy? I would struggle with the first wing.
Everything about me gives that I do not care for spice. I like a ketchup. When I have ketchup on a burger, I'm like, damn, they're a little tangy, a little too hot.
little tag.
My barrier to entry with wings is that I don't like my fingers to be messy. You know what I mean? I like that I can do a hot wing, but then it's all, I got stuff to do. I can't have buffalo on my hands.
It's all over the place, and it's terrible, but we're not here to talk about food. We're not here to talk about wings. We're here to talk about Survivor and your journey on it. I just recently watched Season 45, as obviously, if some fans don't know, I've imbibed all of Survivor week after week after week with recaps on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on YouTube, and have been just getting Survivor thrown at me through a fire hose. And Season 45 was a really, really special one. I loved Dee the winner. I loved some of the characters on there, but your tribe in particular had a little bit of a rough go at the beginning with everything that went on. I believe I called it the worst tribe in Survivor history, and you have been watching my silly little recaps for a while now, and I remember you reaching out. I think you left a comment on TikTok saying watching this is like some type of a death march towards Season 45, because you did, my man. You left quite the impact. So not to be, let's talk about Tony Squares for a second, but when did you start seeing my videos, and what made you decide to leave that comment and be like, I can't wait till he gets to mine?
In terms of the Survivor space, like seldom have I seen people kind of like, I see so much Survivor content at every, my whole TikTok is just, my For You page is Survivor, Survivor, Survivor. And there have been very few people who have caught the attention of like the Survivor verse, where I'm seeing people that you talk about share the videos, you know. And I'm also like a fan. Like I want to know anybody's perspective on any season. So I had seen you, you know, I guess a year ago, like close to a year ago, in, I don't know, September, October. I'm like doing the math of what my weekend is going to be. I'm like, I should cancel shit in case it's not as good. And, you know, I think what you do that's really special is like, you're not a dick, which is like, I think like, you're not, you know, you have every right to, like, as you're watching it, give your actual reactions, which are, I'm sure, sometimes not kind, but everybody across the board, like, you're the way that you do it is just funnier. Like I watched the video that you made about my tribe, which is all incredibly accurate. There's no lies.
This is the worst tribe in the history of Survivor.
Takes a big fall.
It's a weird relationship that I have with this, where it's like, it's my favorite thing that I've thought about every day for now almost 20 years. But then I'm like, every like once in a while, I'm like peripherally part of something, some part of the media. And that was, you know, so funny. So I'm thrilled. I mean, I know you're new to the podcast game, and I'm thrilled to be, you know, from what I can tell, one of the pioneer guests of this operation.
I decided to treat Survivor when I started watching these videos because my channel was all about sports and sports comedy, and I decided to treat Survivor like it was a sport. And that's how these breakdowns and these recaps have happened, where if you see someone miss the final shot in a basketball game, you're going to talk about that. And you might be mad or happy depending on who you're rooting for. And so I decided to keep that in Survivor. But at the same time, I fully realize that this is reality TV. You guys are real people. Like, yes, some of you are playing a character, but for the most part, most of you are going out there with your own hopes and dreams and ambitions and putting it out to the world. And now who the F am I to sit there and go like, this guy stinks? So I try to make it fun. I try to make it engaging, and I do try to give my honest truth to it. But at the same time, I understand people might be watching it, and then I've had them reach out. Believe me, I've had people reach out to me and be very, very angry with what I've said about them and try to explain their side of things. And we've had good conversations with growth, because I my whole time, I never really have an axe to grind. There's probably only 2 people in the history of Survivor that I've truly would never interact with in real life. And I've made that clear in my videos. But other than that, everyone has been, you know, an open book to me and I to them. And that's been the best part. And you coming on this podcast exemplifies that, in that almost everyone to a T in this Survivor world has been so welcoming and opening and gracious to invite me into this world. And a complete outsider who comes in saying, this is the best Survivor ever, this is the worst player. Like, I am saying these big statements, and you guys have all been like, come on in, Tony, let's introduce you, let me tell you what really happened. And that's been so rewarding to me. And I am happy to have you on here specifically, because I reached out to you after your season aired, and I wanted to have you come on here because your journey on Survivor is very similar to what my fears of Survivor could be. Because again, you all sit there at home, you're watching the show. I know you're a super fan before you came on the show. And then when I'm watching it, I am very much not hesitant, but the little, you know, back of my mind, that voice in the back of your mind starts perking up and going like, yeah, Tony, it'd be fun to backstab. It'd be fun to do all these challenges. It'd be fun to be your own Tony or Boston Rob or Russell, like put your mark on the game. But at the same time, Tone, you do struggle with some things that might show up on the island, like anxiety, like panic, like fear, where you could have that stuff happen to you and you don't have the safeties of what you have at home. You don't have your little tincture of CBD oil to calm you down. You don't have the go back to your own bed, to go to your shower, whatever your comfort zone may be. No, you're on the sand, you're hot all the time, you're dirty, and there's cameras everywhere. So those little fears of the anxiety, of the panic attack and all that stuff, I know that you experienced that head on in that first episode and in that first few days on Survivor. So I would like to sort of pick at that, if you're open to picking at that, because I don't think a lot of people talk about the realities of it. So before we get to what happened, when you were a super fan, when you were applying, did you have any hesitancy at all before you jumped in the boat, so to speak?
No, I mean, not at all. Like the way that I've used this anecdote before, but are you Catholic school? Are you a born and bred Catholic school kid by chance?
Yes.
Sometimes we can spot each other. I can sniff them out. But the analogy that I've made is like, I go to Catholic school and I'm in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and the nuns and the priests that are my teachers are all telling us like that we got called to be in the priesthood, you know, like, or we got called to be a nun. And then I remember all of my friends like gathering up, like terrified, like, oh my, I hope I don't get fucking, I don't want to do that. It looks like it sucks. And then you ask the priest or the nun, like, what does it mean that you just got called? And they were like, we can't explain it. You just know. Like when it happens, you know. And then I am 11 sitting on my the basement floor watching Survivor on a whim. I say this, it's in the show that my teacher talked about Survivor. I didn't think she liked me. She was new and I wanted her to like me. So I watched the show and it was a second. It was like, I say this in my audition video, but it was like somebody was giving me like a higher power. It was like, this is it. Like if you want it, you got to tell me you want it. And it was never an option that I was maybe going to play. Like I had to go see it. And it wasn't even for a long time. Like Survivor is everything that I am not to date and before and during. Like I've never, that's not my scene. But I have to, why do I have to go? You know what I mean? Like I feel like I have to be there. So I sent in a video within days from that. I'm 11. I'm like, when I'm old enough to do this, I'd love to participate. I do it every year after that. My video when I'm 18 is I have an alarm clock in my room. I film it going to midnight and I'm like, game on, baby. I'm ready. You remember me? And then for years, I mean, I don't have to go in the whole spiel, but I get contacted to do Big Brother and I get contacted to do other shit. Like, and it just, Survivor was the thing that the North Star, that it never happened. All the while, I'm seeing people play Survivor. I see Sandra. I see Cirie. I see Cochran and Aubrey and David Wright. These are people like me that I identify that are, you know, in the new era, we're all a little bit like this for maybe detriment of what you're watching. But back in the day, you see these people and I'm like, oh, I mean, that's, you know, Cirie's whole thing is she got up off the couch. I'm on the fucking couch. I'd love to get off this couch if I get the opportunity. So seeing Aubrey struggle in the first episode of Korong and seeing David Wright, who has one of my favorite confessionals in the history of the show, he's crying and he's like, I'm going to make this happen for myself. You know, like this is, I need this to happen. There's no reason that I ever would have believed that I wouldn't, like, the risk of what happened to me was worth it to go see what I can do. All the while, I do have pretty bad anxiety. I shouldn't say do. I think it is, and I'll get into it. But I think by and large, it has kind of gone away given all of this experience, which is the best thing I could have ever asked for. But I knew that I would encounter that when I got there. My whole casting video and interviews are, I called myself, I had anxious mom energy. You know, I don't drink because I'm worried about drinking. I make sure everybody gets home when they get home. You know, like I want to be the DD if I can. So I know all these things about me, and I knew that I was going to encounter them when I got there. The thing that sucks for me is like, I recently, within the last 6 months, I find my pregame journal that you have in the pregame, you know, when everybody else is cheating and meeting up at the tents late at night. I'm kidding. We don't all do that. I wanted to burn it. It's all like, I'm so scared of this. I'm worried about this. It's 10% gratitude, 90% me like manifesting almost exactly what happened to me, you know? And I cannot stress enough to you and to the people listening, to anybody who will ever hear this, who watched me on Survivor, that is not what I thought was going to happen. It is, I shouldn't say that. It is what I feared would happen, which is what did happen, but I never would have gone if I thought, actually, I shouldn't say that. This is when I'm in producer mode where I'm just like cutting for myself. Like,
you had all this in your head. You had the many avenues of what could happen, and there were the fears, there were the realizations, the fact that you could be crowned sole survivor, like all that was playing out in your head. But what you were saying, I think the journal part of it is you were manifesting disaster by writing it all out of all your fears. And so I fully understand that when you are in that dark thought, and when you allow yourself to think those things and go down that path, you're creating a prison for yourself in your own mind. And eventually it's very hard to break out of that. But before we get to what's happened afterwards, because I think that's a remarkable story when you told me on Instagram how your life is like now since Survivor, when you're actually participating in that challenge, when you can't get up the ladder, you can't get out of the water, you're laying face down on the boat afterwards, you're having a full-out panic attack. I guess, I mean, you can tell me this, but I guess they did not show how, you know, you had a medical evaluation, like they were checking you for things, and it was a full-blown, you know, terrible, terrible scene for you because you're a prisoner of your own moment there. What was obviously we all know what, or you might not know what a panic attack, what an anxiety attack feels like, but that whole moment, when did it start to set in like, uh-oh, I might be in trouble here? Was it at the ladder? Was it before the ladder? Was it before, Jeff says go? Like, when did this all start to come up?
Again, this is one of those things of like, and I like the feedback has meant like less and less to me as time has gone on. But I remember initially reading like, why would he ever volunteer to do that part? Because I can fucking swim pretty good. Like, watch it. Go watch the first part of that. Like, Sean and I fucking fly in the water. We get in the boat and we literally, I mean, we're fucking paddle. We're doing it. I'm on fucking Survivor. Like, there was at this point, the whole first part of that challenge. You see me jump, you see me swim, you see me whatever. In my mind, I'm like, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Which is how I do everything. I mean, the thing that I likened it to back then is like, it took me a couple times to pass my fucking driver's test. Because it's like I'm practicing for days and weeks before then, and I'm waking up early to go practice. I'm doing all the same shit, and then I get in the car with the instructor, who's not friendly, mind you. There's never been a friendly guy who does these things.
Never.
And then I back into the spot. I fucking slam the curb on the parallel park, and then it's over. Right? That's how life has been for 25 years before Survivor. So we get to, and I haven't done and you're a sports commentator, so if you want to ever do the play-by-play, the John Madden circling what I did wrong from the ladder, I'm happy to collab post that on Instagram. But I think I step on the rung that is lower than the one everybody else stepped on. So I'm like already a little bit in the water. And then when I kind of grab, I think just the weight is distributed weird or whatever. And I still, at that point, I think could have recovered. But then once I fall, there's no fucking bottom rung. Like, I'm having to do full body pull up wet after all of this. I'm having adrenaline. And then, like, I'll never forget I'm pulling with fucking everything. Like, I've never done anything like that. People say, like, when you're in like a, God forbid, a car accident, like you have the fucking, mom strength. You can pull I'm like, is it a magic word I have to say? Like, is there a command that makes this happen? Because it's fucking nothing. I'm not moving. And then that's when I blacked out. Like that's when the panic was, oh my God, like this is and I remember you just watched this. So the 44 premiere, they're doing a challenge where Carolyn has the rings and she's trying to get it on this big pole and she fucks that up for her tribe. And I'm like, I'm in the moment, like, oh my God, that's happening to me. This is going to be all over Twitter. Like, I'm doing it in my head of like, this is the worst thing I could have imagined. I can hear Jeff yelling, "Let's go, Brandon," which I'm like, well, we could workshop that, right? I didn't think we'd have to do all that. My tribe is yelling for me, like, and then I totally black out. So I don't remember it wasn't. I sound defensive when I'm like, it wasn't that long. It was 5 minutes probably of like, whatever. And then we caught up right away. So whatever. I get on the thing. I pass out. Like I'm not conscious. I don't have any memory of it. The challenge ends maybe 20 minutes after that. Medical comes over to me. They strap all the shit to me. My heart rate after like laying for 20 minutes was like 180. Like it was unbelievable. I was somewhere else. And Jeff, I've said this before, but Jeff was very kind to give me like Survivor trivia as I was as I'm getting out of it. And he was just asking me stuff just to like get my mind elsewhere. And then he said, "Who's the biggest villain in Survivor history?" And I, in my passed out state, said the ladder. And then everybody, like, we had camera people laughing, we had the cast laughing, people were fucking. It's like the Good Will Hunting shot where the camera shaking. That's what I felt like was going on. So I have wondered for. It's a passing thought. Is the perception of me different, good, worse, or indifferent if they show that part? Like if the medical is in there, does it look less like incompetency and more of a thing that happened to me? And I have they shouldn't have put it in because it's not in there. I trust them. They gave me the best fucking edit they could have ever given me. Like there's no sadness for me that it's not in there, but I do wonder what that looks like for me if it's in there.
But that is interesting, and it does make me happy that Jeff was sort of there to be by your side and giving you the trivia to help out and all that stuff. But after that happens, after the season happens, the season airs, that whole moment is happening. Obviously, let me stop you before we even get to the season premiering. After you're back at home and you got X amount of months before the season premieres and you know how your journey on that thing ended, were you still dealing with the anxiety of it all? But as you said, the anxiety is kind of a beast that you left on Fiji.
The fucking preview for Survivor 45 is just your boy. I mean, it's me and Jake have 2 shots and everybody else gets 1 or 0. So I'm like, am I the fucking star of Survivor 45? And I literally, I'm naive. I felt no anxiety for 3 months. It was like I took something. I was like, I've never been happier. I'm like, oh my God, I think did I win? Did they re-edit it? But I remember, watching it. I'm watching it in a packed room of all my friends. And this is everybody who knows me knows this is the fucking dream. I have a packed place, the Winston in Philadelphia. I have all my friends from every era of my life. They're all there. They're watching it. And I took out my phone, which somebody told me not to do. And then I go on Twitter, naturally, a mistake. And it was just 10 tweets that aren't mine, that are just in the ether. There was a tweet of me and Hannah that I remember, our pictures side by side, and said, just cancel the season already. And it had 10,000 likes. And it was 9:50 p.m. There were 10,000 likes in 20 fucking minutes. It was crazy. So then this is maybe a less fun part of this story. I don't think I ate for 5 days. I don't think I ate solid food for till the weekend. I have never felt that bad in my life. And then I would call my casting person and I'm like, hey, this will get better, right? Surely they have to land the plane somehow. And then the second episode I'll never watch the first episode again. I will die not having seen the first episode. But the second episode I do really like. Everything about it is just a little bit more fun for me to watch. I still haven't seen it, but I can see a world where I watch it again. And I really I have seen my tribal council, and my tribal council, I was very not, I don't want to self-compliment. I felt very profound in my tribal council where I'm I thought I had to be here to do this, but I think I have to be here to do this and then do something else. The journey was not, I thought this was the X on the treasure map, but there's another part that folds out of the map that I'm now seeing that I have to go be somewhere. Did I want that to happen? Unequivocally, no. Did I go to Survivor because I wanted to win? 1,000%. The thing that I want more than anything is to fucking backstab. And I want to look somebody in the face and lie to them. That's what the magic of the show is the 18 people who are from all over who are this. Survivor is the backdrop to this crazy, sociological torture game of that spoke to me at 11. I want that so bad to do that. And it didn't, I didn't. And now we're figuring it out.
The first person I had on this show was also from the first season that I watched live. It was one of the first players I fell in love with. It was Eva Erickson from season 48. And she was so kind to come on here and be really open with how the world treated her when her season was airing. Because I've been in this online game for quite a while. I've been making videos online. I've been on sports shows. I've had podcasts. I'm mostly in the world of sports, but I've dealt with saying things online and having people disagree with you, not from a good standing of debate. There are trolls in every aspect of the world, and as you guys deal with it, you guys again are on Survivor. You're your real people. I'm just Tony Squares online. It's not even my real last name. Hate to break it to all the Squares fans out there, but you guys are you. On this Survivor thing. So when people say cancel the season because of you, that I know how much that can cut deep. So how did the rebound of that happen? And when did we start to not accept your place of what happened there, but also be okay with listen, that happened, I had a blast, and you start to look at it from a good perspective? Because there are plenty of Survivor players out there that have a very negative view towards how their season happened because of what happened to them. My
philosophy the whole time, even in that week, I'm putting out content in that week of just pointing, laughing at me because this is crazy what happened. And then the week after, because I never wanted to let the thing that I'm in love with hurt me. You know what I mean? Right. I never wanted to. It already hurt me in the way that it didn't go the way that I wanted. But if that's I'm big into stoicism. Like I read a lot of, like, I can't change that. And it's a waste of my energy to be upset at what happened, because I can't, like, all of me stewing in this bed that you can see behind you for hours and hours and days, it's not going to do anything. Like, it's not going to, there's no DeLorean outside, you know, that's going to help me go do this again. So letting people know that, and I do understand that, like, my thing for a lot of people watching is in a way that maybe you don't want the magnifying glass or the flashlight on you, is like relatable to some people. Everybody that I know has had something they were really excited about, and they really tried hard at it, and they did it so fucking bad. It wasn't even like they did it a little bit bad. Like, every part of it was horrible. So it's like, that's why I think it's so easy for me, of like, there are people who are blindsided, or they go all the way deep, and then a vote doesn't work out, and they're still upset about, like, and as they should be, because you were closer and you felt like you had agency and you could have won. I was nowhere fucking close. Like, why would I ever be upset? Like, it's just like, you know, the joke.
You don't
that
know,
I made,
man. You don't know. One vote goes a different way. You never know what could have happened. You could have gone on a run.
I think that really, and the Hannah, like, quitting at the first thing, I think really unreported story did a number on me, where, you know, I lose the first reward challenge. We lose the immunity challenge. Like, I'm having reflux. Like everything's going horrible. And I think that you see Andy in 47 have this horrible thing at the immunity challenge, but then he's on the right side of something, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's a confidence boost that comes with being on the right side of something, where even Aubrey has her thing, and then she wins the immunity challenge on day 3 of Co Wrong. Like, I think that I needed that. Like, David Wright is almost the first boot of that tribe in Millennials versus Gen X, and then he gets the, you know. So I think that even just having, and I'm so glad that we didn't vote off Emily, because Emily is, I get to watch Emily on season, like, that's the best thing that we could have ever done. Like, Hannah Rose died for all of our sins. Like, I would have loved to just been a part of something that worked, and I think that my mindset changes that. But in the bubble of Survivor 45, I understand that I was not close. Do I think that it goes that way for me every time? Unequivocally, no. Like, the things that I know that I'm great at, I'm great at. Like, and I will not apologize for, you know, tooting my own horn of, like, the skills that they don't put you on the show in the new era if they think you're going to be bad at it. You know, I think they did that, and you just watched it for the 20s and the 30s. You see people who in no world would they win. I think there's one new era person, and I'm not going to say their name. I'll text it to you after this. I think there's one new era person who cannot win Survivor. Like 70 people would have had to die, you know, for them to win.
That's actually my big argument with people getting mad at the new era cast, because I think I really like a lot of the new era cast, and I understand Survivor super fans have their own thoughts about it. I think Survivor players are too smart now. Like, you're never going to get a villain anymore, because a villain never wins. People are too smart to go far. You need to do certain things on Survivor, and you can't be burning people's shoes. Like, it doesn't work anymore. Although we did see Jake steal people's shoes in 49, and that would have been fun to see how that played out for as long as it goes. But yes, I'm all there for it, and I fully understand where you're coming from. And now you're still in it, though. Like, if we're fast forward until today, you're still in this world of Survivor. You obviously still love it, and you're still in the podcasting world. So how did that all come about, and how did we get to where we are today?
That's a great question. For years before Survivor, obviously, like, I graduate with a degree from Rowan University, which is where you go in New Jersey when you don't make it in your dream school as your second choice. I started there. So I didn't ever get my heart broken, but I graduated with a degree in radio, TV, film. And then I just it's 2019 when I graduate college, and I just got in on social media. Like, people are for the first time ever putting up social media marketer jobs. So I, for years, work in content writing, whether that is, I worked in higher education, shout out to Temple University. I worked all over in agencies and what have you, making content. So then I go on Survivor. I'm still working at Temple University. I end up leaving there. I'm freelancing just because I wanted to experience the Survivor of it all. Like, I just, you know, I had a freelance connect, whatever. And then Rob Sesternino, my current boss, and somebody that I've been listening to since episode 1 of his first podcast. You know, I'm 13 when it comes out. It's like, I didn't know what a podcast was until that. I'm now in communication with Rob, obviously, given this world. And I say, listen, like, I can help you. Like, I think I see a room for improvement with the social media and the content, whatever. So I freelanced there for a little bit, and then we put a ring on it, and then I'm now full-time there, and I've been full-time there for over a year. And it's like, I can't thank him enough for letting me do all of this. Like it's unbelievable there's a. Did you watch The White Lotus?
Of course.
You watched.
Although I'm like Chrissy, I haven't seen season 3.
So that's the one I want to quote. Fuck. Carrie Coon in season 3 has this monologue at the end of the finale episode where she's with her, spoiler alert, she's with her friends, whatever. And she's like, I don't care if you have more money than me. I don't care if you're more successful. Like, I'm just happy to be at the table. And that's how I have felt this whole experience. Is like, I can't believe that I get to be here. I can't believe that I get to do, I can't believe I got to do that. I can't believe I was ever a part of the show, that they invested their time and money into me, this thing that I dreamed of. And I can't believe that now I get to talk about it all the time. I mean, it's like, who's luckier than me? Like if this is what had to happen to get me here, I mean, I'm on my 9th Make-A-Wish is the joke that I say. It's like, I haven't tragically passed yet. So I'm so grateful to be here to do all of this. Even stuff like this is like crazy,
No,
yes.
believe me, it is crazy for me to sit here and like see people on my TV and then be able to talk to them one-on-one, have that relationship with them. It's been a blast the whole time. And Rob, obviously Rob has an empire in the world of podcasting out there. He's built that from scratch. Imagine me not knowing that whole thing existed and seeing Rob for the first time on season 6 of the Amazon, making all the videos I did about him in that season, and then suddenly realizing, oh, this guy's a media giant in the Survivor world. I wish I had known that before I said some things about him from season 6. But hey, you live and you learn. You guys are, though, because of obviously season 50, you guys are touring the states with live shows. Are you just doing one out here in LA? What's the schedule with that?
I believe you can buy tickets for each one right now, but we're going to LA in 2 weeks on March 11th. We will be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada on April 22nd, and then we will be here in New York City where I am on May 6th. Which if you haven't been, we watched the show in a huge theater. I was very fortunate. My boot episode in season 45, I'm not involved with Rob as a podcast at the time, just happenstance happened to be a live show. So I got to be voted out at the live shows that I attended for the 10 years prior, like buying my own, ticket. It's like everything's coming up for your boy. But we get to watch the episode. They do a podcast right after the episode with the folks that are there, all the Survivor contestants that come. Normally, it's a ton of them. Survivor 50 contestants, I would assume, will be at all of them. So if you're listening to this and you want to come hang, come hang. It is not lost on me. Like, despite not getting the experience that, I guess, if you go with the scheme of all Survivor contestants out of 18 people, like most people get more than what I got on Survivor just by, 16 people do. Like, but I've gotten so much that I get to do because of this. And it is not lost on me that I do not think I deserve any of it.
Well, I mean, I think I can say that I think you do deserve it in the fact that not only do you love it and that, you wear that on your sleeve, but also you are, you're open to talking about it and you're great at talking about it, but also you have the right mindset of it in that, like, you hold it in this regard. Like, Survivor is a thing. It's not just a TV show. It truly is a thing that you all are. You put it up there and you attack it and you give it your all and everyone goes for it. It's those corny things that Jeff says at every immunity challenge. You know what I mean? But it's true. You guys do put this thing up there and you believe in it and you go for it. And it's a blast to see this community ever giving back, and the fact that you're now working with Rob Cesternino on the show, talking about the show. It's fantastic. It makes me happy. And that's why Survivor's been there for 50 seasons and hopefully 50 more. But speaking of 50, I know we've talked to you for a while here. I don't want to take all your day. I do want to touch on season 50 a little bit and the premiere, because the biggest thing to me that I've seen since these seasons is that some seasons after they're done, I'll follow everybody on social media. I'll see what's up. I'll make sure no one's turned into a felon so I can talk about them online. And then sometimes I see season cast that, like, suddenly they're all together still. Like, they're still posting. They're at people's weddings. I understand 45 wasn't too long ago like the 30s and 20s were, but the season 45 class seems really close. You, Dee, and Kelly in particular. Like, you guys seem to have a real camaraderie here. Is that the usual for seasons and casts this soon afterwards, or is season 45 kind of a special outlier here?
Well, what's so funny is we thought we were the outlier, and then the season 47 troop is like, it's like they're all going to move in together. Like they're looking for a compound in Kansas right now. It's like they're all uprooting their lives. They're going to start a new life. We were super, and I shouldn't say were, like, we immediately, Kelly was gracious enough to, like, plan this group trip once we got out of season 45 that summer, which not a lot of groups do that in the history of the show. Like nobody's trying to get everybody together like that. We had heard about it in passing. Some groups do, some groups don't. We were lucky that there wasn't a lot of beef organically on the island. Like people weren't, there are seasons like the season 46 group, they'll never be in the same place ever again. Like 18 of them, they'll never be there. Like, 6 of them wouldn't go. But we were very lucky. And then we still, for a long time after that, we would travel together when we would go to these things, these Rob as a podcast shows or finales or what have you. And we still do this. We'll all get the same Airbnb, like we are super close. Yeah. I think we also we did really good PR for ourselves because many of this crew is good at content. Not me, but you have your D's and your Kellys and your people who can really make it look like we're not look like we're having fun. We're having fun. But people we can advertise. Yeah. But again, we get blown out of the water by the 40 compared to the 47 group. We're 18 people at Kohl's at any given time. We have nothing to talk about. But it is a new era. It's a testament to I can't imagine the Survivor Marquesas cast all getting an Airbnb. I think that it is the way the show casts now. We all are. Survivor has kind of. I overcorrected is the wrong word, but Survivor has shifted in the casting to who would be good at this game that we've created. It's no longer about, it's less about the personalities and this is the game that you will be playing. Who should do this? So we all have that commonality together. We all have, I remember we were in this, at the group trip, and Down by Jay Sean comes on. You know the song Down. It comes out in 2009. And there's 18 of us. We all know every word to it. And I'm like, what kind of casting is this? That we all have, we all know this, song from 2009. But we all really, really get along. We have a really nice thing that we have. And to date, it's not a secret from social media. Dee and Kelly I talk to them every day. I've talked to them every day for 3 years. And that's just there are pockets in every crew of people who just really get it. And it's an unlikely, I guess it's not unlikely for them to. Of course, they would be friends in every place that they meet. And then I'm just here too. It's very much like Disney Channel, TV show of it's the two people and then just the Ophi guy who's kind of close. Who's always got a new side hustle, we have a really, really good thing. They're the best in the world. And the idea that I get to see Dee do this again is unbelievable.
Yeah. So both now Dee and Emily are in season 50. They lasted through the premiere, although Dee seems to have her whole entire tribe ready to take her down. So watching season 50, obviously you're going to be rooting for the two castmates that you have, but you got to see this with fresh eyes. It's I keep on calling it the biggest season in Survivor history. I know 40 had Winners at War, but this is such an accomplishment with 24 players from seasons 1 to season 49. They're really pulling out all the stops to make this special. They brought Billy F. and Eilish into the thing. But watching the premiere with 3 hours of television, I wanted to ask you, what was the most surprising thing you saw from these 3 hours, and what was maybe a disappointing thing? Because there was a lot to be on there.
Well, I'm curious to hear from you, because you just watched season 40, and I watched it when it came on. I have not rewatched it. I don't remember Winners at War feeling this fun. I think I think Winners at War was epic. And I think Heroes versus Villains is epic and fun, and I think we are now back to epic and fun. And tell me if I'm wrong. Did you get fun from Winners at War?
40 seemed like it was the NFL playoffs, in the most hard-hitting, rivals are there, blood's about to be spilled. It was definitely epic, but almost in a gladiator-type way. And It was scary to watch. You were kind of watching through closed fingers because these guys were ready to tear each other apart. And this, you're absolutely right, 50 seemed immediately almost fun to the point of corny in the best way possible.
Yeah, people complain about the new era format changes, and I just there was an article the other day of Jeff saying that we've made it family friendly, and there are people like me I'm watching at 11 years old, and so are many people who love the show still. It was family friendly enough when I was there, but I think that all of the changes that they've made, I do think this is so much fun that I get to see Colby being silly. Where Colby wasn't silly the couple times that he did this. You know what I mean? I love that Colby's now having to watch a Riz God organized fashion show. I think that is a plus for this. And I think it's so fun. my favorite part about the finale, or I mean the premiere, is you have Colby who can't hear and he can't see, and then Ozzy's complaining about his back. Like, that's, for me, they make so many, there's so many 90s movies where they then make the sequel within the last 2 years. And it's, you get these, and sometimes those sequels aren't good, and a lot of them are cash grabs, but this doesn't feel like a cash grab. This feels like these guys fucking love Survivor, and they're gonna go out even if their you know, technology isn't working like it used to work, you know.
It made it feel so real. Like, especially Jenna coming in, obviously didn't work out for her, but she came in and said it a couple times, like, I'm playing the new era. I'm ready to go. And she was throwing fire as soon as she set foot on that island. And everyone, even Ozzy, who has had a complaint about him for the first 4 seasons, he never changed what he wanted to do on the island. He came here being like, no, I'm going to try this a little bit differently because it hasn't worked out for me. Because with age comes growth, usually, or you still coach every single day. But it's so much fun to watch these players be the older, more mature, different versions of themselves. And yes, they have the goofy parts, but my favorite part from the premiere shows when the goofiness fades away, there's still all of these players are players. And my favorite part is Aubrey and Genevieve just at each other's throat over a tea party. Like, there was the most polite, you know, like, but they could tell there were daggers going both ways. No idea where it came from. It seems so out of left field compared to the rest of the episode up to that point. But I literally leaned forward in my chair like, oh my God, what is happening? Because that was Survivor to me, between two people who could easily win this season. They're so good, and I'm ready to see how it unfolds. So yeah, I'm right there with you on the goofiness.
I left that scene so excited to see what Aubrey's whole thing is this time, because it's so easy. And a couple of people got this confessional, like in Ozzy, like a coach of like, I'm back after X and I can't wait to see X. Like, we don't get that from Aubrey. Aubrey's just mad at fucking Jenna, like for not, like, we don't know, you know. So like, what's Aubrey doing? Like, what's the story that we get there? Because we're not necessarily like, it's not like, I don't know if I'm using the word laden correctly, but it's not like laden into her story thus far of like why she's doing this. So I can't wait to figure out why Genevieve was so immediately sketchy, and why handle it like that is interesting to me. But I'm really excited. I'm really fucking excited.
I'm very excited.
I think on the Ozzy front, like, Ozzy was, full transparency, like one of the people I was least excited for just when they announced the cast, because again, we've seen it. But Ozzy was my fucking favorite of the episode. Like, the idea that he is approaching it with, and this is a testament to the bringing people back, you know, people do learn. And I think that I think there is this, you know, understanding amongst the old guard that this is the last shot, and they are the 12 people that got the last shot compared to the fucking 75 they called to get. Like, I think they feel that pressure also, because I mean, you know this, you see all the same stuff that I do. They called so many people. They called so many people from those first 40 seasons, and like, you know, unless they take this idea that I just pitched, and you know my Venmo, you have it on file, like. They're not going. Like, these 1 to 40 people, they're never going again. And it is like, I understand why it was so difficult, because it's like part of you died. Like, it is like this flame that's been up for 25 years that maybe that shot will come. Maybe, like, it doesn't seem like, you know, there are some, like a Jonathan Penner, for example, who's one of my all-time favorites. Like, this was the shot. This was it. And we didn't take him, you know. No. I still think there's a chance that Jerry goes at some point, but like, this could have been the shot for Jerry, and they didn't take Jerry, you know? So it's a shame. Like, that part is a bummer, but I think the people that are there are making it count, which I really, really appreciate.
No, I agree. They're definitely, well, what's the only thing? I'm waiting for the finger wag. What's the only thing?
The only, like, the thing that I've been saying about the episode, it was 2 hours of the best Survivor episode that I've seen since 2018, and then it was followed up by a new era episode of Survivor. Like, it was followed up by the 40-minute, we're on a journey, we're finding an idol, by like
Billie Eilish boomerang.
Billie Eilish boomerang.
Can't forget.
Trademarked.
TM.
I wish we just pushed that to next week. I wish we ended. It's like the George Costanzas. We want to leave them wanting more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, if that ends at Tribal Council, like, put that in the fucking, like, that'll get it, you know, whatever. And then it was like, we're still here.
Yeah.
It's 10:25. We're still here.
They've also, it's like what's it when you ring the bell and you get hungry? It's like Pavlov's dog. It's like they've trained Survivor fans for 50 seasons to know that when Tribal Council happens, that's the end of the episode, and then there's another hour. And it was like, wait a second, what? We have another. This thing says 3 hours, but Jenna's walking out. What's going on? So yes, I fully agree with you with that. The formatting was a touch odd. And as for the older players coming back, and these 12 are the ones that are chosen. I do really enjoy Ozzy because Ozzy got that pick and I think Ozzy's taken the responsibility of that pick really well because not only is he representing himself, but with that hair, he's representing Shambo as well. So I do think the combination of the two is definitely taken over there. So I've had you on for far too long. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do want to know before we get off of this, season 50, the premiere just aired, episode 2 is around the corner. You have 2 friends on it, so you're obviously rooting for people to win this show, but who do you think actually pulls off the victory and comes away with the crown? Who wins season 50?
My natural inclination is D. Like, I really do think there's nobody more equipped to win again. I think that she is like, and the thing that I have always said about her is that when she locks in, she can do anything. Like she is, there's nobody better at like wanting this thing and then going for it. But I also think that like Tiffany, I mean, I do, obviously I've listened to all of the pregame stuff and there are people, I think Chrissy was one of them. Chrissy's like, I don't know who this is. Like, which is, if you follow the meta of the All-Star season in Survivor, you have Amber, who's 6th place, and she wins the first one. And then you have Parvati, who wins, she's 6th place her original season. She wins this one. Tiffany's 8th place. Sarah Lacina was like 12th place. Like, you go in that early mid-jury situation, you're kind of the person on the season where everybody's like, the idea that Cirie and Tiffany are picked for the same season is like, well, what's the theme? They don't have a lot of congruency. That's the fucking person you got to be worried about. That's the person who wins because you go in and everybody's ego is 1,000% jacked up. And Tiffany didn't really have the chance to build that ego. And Tiffany's never the person that you're going to look at. Even the other night, I did the red carpet interviews for Rob as a podcast, and I'm asking throwaway questions just to try to break people. And I asked Tiffany, like, go watch it if you're listening. No, finish this, but then go watch it. I say to Tiffany, like, Tiffany has a really beautiful dog named Juju, who I love. I said, why are dog owners better at Survivor than everybody else? And I give her the microphone. And her answer was like, I wanted to give it an award. Like, it was like a Nobel Peace Prize answer. And I'm like, damn, you're fucking good. Like, you could really, take this. Which is, and I said this to Tiffany also, Jeff had said in one of the interviews from this week that Tiffany was a different cast for season 50 because Tiffany almost had it. Tiffany didn't reach her potential, whereas a lot of the people on season 50 have reached max potential, sometimes 3 or 4 times. And Tiffany may be the only one of that group who didn't get to see it all the way through. Which is really, out of 24 people and out of 750 they could have cast, it's so impressive to me that they picked her. They really, really see something in her that they want to see it. They want to see her see this through. So I hope she sees it through.
I would love for this winner to be a new era winner because for whatever reason, maybe true, maybe not, this new era seems to get ragged on. People don't know why 12 of them were on season 50. I can tell you a million reasons why. I am very excited to see how the cast shaped up and how it's all going to play out. Again, we had 3 hours of a wonderful, wonderful episode of Survivor to start us off. I hope it continues to the very end. But either way, I'll be covering it here on Survivor Squared. I'll be having more guests every single Monday to help break down the show. I thank you so much, Brandon, for coming on to represent not only your story and what you went through on season 45, but also breaking down season 50 because it's going to be a wild, wild ride. And again, March 11th, we're going to be in Los Angeles, so come on out to the show, buy a ticket, and come see us there to watch the show live. Who knows, it'll be voted out then. It'll be a blast. But yes, thank you for coming on the show. We'll see you we'll see you on Thursday when Bailey Buffs comes back to break down episode 2, and until then, we'll see you there.